Hi everybody. I just wanted to do a little video on the grid because there's still a little bit of confusion on how best to use it. And it's one of the most effective tools I know on actually making sure that not only are you moving in action, but you're doing your follow-ups as well. And also too, you get to see what you're really doing as opposed to sometimes what you think that you're actually doing. So let's have a little look at the grid. It's a simple, of course, sheet of paper that's got 30 squares on it, but let's talk a little bit more about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my screen and bring up the grid. Just one second. Okay, so here's your grid. You should be able to see this now. As you see, it's 30 squares. Now, where I think people are getting confused is just a little bit around, the numbers on the squares. The numbers of the squares are actually the people, the number of people you are connecting with, not the days of the month, okay? So square one is somebody that you might have met on the 10th. It doesn't matter. It's when you're having those conversations with people. And remember, a conversation, this is not just where we put a scatter shot out and people may like a post and we put them on the grid. That's not connecting with them. We connect with them when we then take that into a private message situation, a text message situation, an actual phone call, or personal conversations, when we're actually having conversations with people and we're starting to build relationships. Remember, it's always about connecting. What is the next opportunity to be able to connect with somebody? So I think it's really, really important to note that, when you actually are starting conversations, you are about asking as many questions as you possibly can so that you can find out a little bit more about them. I think that's really, really important, rather than feeling that you've got to go into sales mode straight away. You then may or may not get to have a conversation about Juice Plus in that very, very first conversation. So for example, when I'm at a networking event, my goal is to connect with two people. Generally, that's it. 2 to 3 at the most, but really probably 2 people, rather than trying to work the whole room. Because what I want to do is spend some time asking them lots of questions. Why is that important? At the end of that networking event, they will remember me because I'm probably the only one that will have spent the time to ask questions about them. What do they like best about their business? What is it that attracted them to that field? What actually sets them apart? What kind of business are they looking for? What kind of referrals are they looking for? They will remember me. So that way then when I get back in touch with them, of course, they would go on my grid because I've already started to build a relationship with them. When I get back in touch with them to organize a cup of coffee to find out how I can even support them more, very rarely, in fact, I don't ever remember being knocked back for that. And then we have that conversation again. What's going to happen? They're going to ask about what it is that I do. And so then I have an opportunity to be able to have a conversation with them about Juice Plus in an open way, in such a way that they actually want to actually hear and listen. It's the same when you put a post up maybe and somebody interacts on that post. Then go to a private message situation rather than answering questions on your feed. Go to a private message situation because now you're interacting with people. And I think that that's really, really important. So, from this, it's about really knowing when to put person on the grid. It's when you're actually having the conversation rather than just the scattershot type thing. So it's one person per square, okay? That's basically what it is. So once I've put them in, so say, for example, I have met Jane Smith today. Maybe it's a networking event. I've got Jane Smith on here. I'd write networking event. I put her contact details on there as much as I possibly could, and then I would look at how what's my next interaction with her. So it could be that I'm ringing her up for a coffee to actually catch up with her again. It could be that we did get a little bit of a chit chat about what it is that I do as well, and then what I would do is maybe look at, did I promise to send her a video, or what was my next interaction, because that's the next thing that I'm wanting to do. So I put a little bit of a detail in there so that then I can know what my next step is, because it's always about my next step, my next interaction. Am I inviting her to an event? Have I got a follow-up to do? Also then remember, if you are promising to send a video or invite to an event, do the if I, would you. So if I was to send you a video link, would you watch it? If I was to invite you to an event, would you come along? Again, you're getting to know where their interest lies as well. Okay, so that's what you're doing. And then, of course, each of those people, so today you might hold an event and you might have 5 people that you're actually talking to. 5 squares would actually be filled in. They wouldn't be all on the same day, just because it was that particular date. It's 1 square per person, and that's what you would actually do. Your goal, of course, is to speak to 1 person per day over 30 days, or you can go as quickly as you want. When I was first building my business, it was about a high 5. I wanted to build fast. So that meant I was wanting to talk to 5 people a day. So basically, I was filling a grid in a week. So really, it's completely up to you. But as a minimum, have your goal to be making sure that you're having a conversation with an average of 1 person a day. And that's definitely going to see you compound your results and compound, those outcomes from all of those. The person stays live on here until either you've put a cross through them because they have decided that Juice Plus is not for them. Now, that's, of course, as far as I'm concerned, always in my head. It's just no, not now. It's never no, not ever, because we just don't know. They go back to the end of my memory jogger, and I'll come back around and stay in touch with them in different ways. Or, of course, you may color them in green, okay, because you have turned that person into a customer. Or you may color them in red, say, for example, because you've turned that person into a new team member. And you get to be able to kind of collate down the bottom here how you're going with that. And that grid stays live, as I said, until every single one of those squares has an outcome attached to them. So I hope that actually helps when it comes to understanding your grid that a little bit more and being able to put it to work for you. A very, very simple tool that you can teach anybody, no matter how long they've been in the business, just about getting those conversations started. Because at the end of the day, guys, we get paid to talk to people. That's how we earn our money. Whether it's a yes, whether a no, it doesn't matter. It all evens out in the end. So every no you get is 1 step closer to a yes, and every no you get, you're still getting paid for it technically, because it'll all average out. Okie dokie. Well, I hope that was helpful for you. I hope that you kind of, can have a little look there from, adding extra value into what it is that you're actually doing on a day-to-day basis, and that you get the results that you're after. And remember, at the end of the day, if it is to be, it is up to me. So the more squares, more conversations that you actually have, the more impact you're going to have in the world. And every check we get is in direct proportion to the number of people we help every single day. So go out there and change the world, because I know that you definitely can. God bless.